Hi, this is Ian Blackburn, and it is Saturday, May 27th, and it's a holiday weekend. I just thought I'd spend a minute with you telling you about our upcoming winemaker dinners. They've been very successful this year. People are wanting to experience some of the best things in life. And that's kind of what my job is I've got to put together things that people find interesting, compelling, things that don't make a lot of sense to do on your own, but when you have someone who has a lot of experience and experts and connections, I can put some things together that really layer in amazing value proposition. And our upcoming wine dinners are really, that built with that in mind. And I want to just take you into our upcoming dinner here at Jar Restaurant. I think it's going to be one of the best lineups we've had. Now, sometimes we add names that are, a Screaming Eagle. That's a $5,000 bottle of wine now, 3,500 on the cheap for about or off of vintage. This dinner, we're focusing on wines that you should know about, that should be in the conversation. I'm going to tell you why. These are high scoring wines. Most of them are between 96 and 100 points. They're made by top producers, and there's no slouches in this lineup. And the way our dinners work is that we open a lot of wine. We taste about an ounce and a half of each bottle. We 21 wines. You're getting over a bottle of wine with dinner over a 2.5 hour period of time with a big meal. Probably drinking in the neighborhood of, at least $300-400 worth of wine with dinner. So it's a great value because dinner is quite expensive. As you've probably gone out to a nice restaurant, it's hard to get a nice meal under 200 without wine. And I can tell you right now, this dinner is worth over $200 without wine. And so this is the value proposition that we bring together. This dinner is selling for less than $500, tax and tip inclusive, with one of the best restaurants, best meal menus. And take a look at this wine list. This is the Cabernet Dinner, Jar Restaurant. I'll talk about that in a minute. Here's the wine lineup. Ad Vivum. This is absolutely one of my favorite wines. I don't care how much you're going to pay for a bottle of wine. Chris Phelps, winemaker, used to work at Dominus. This is Sleeping Lady Vineyard. This is just noble stuff. And we drink wines from with a little bit of time from this vintage. They are stunning, stunning wines with absolutely quintessential Napa Valley character, that dusty bench character. Nothing super jammy here, but really proper, really absolutely spot on what I think a great Napa Valley cab should taste like. In fact, I put my money where my mouth's at, and this is the wine I drank for my birthday last year. This is just one of my favorites, and I don't think it gets enough love. Okay, so we're starting to tell you about the 21 wines we're going to have with our dinner at Jar for our Cabernet dinner. We're starting off with one of my favorites. Another brand you need to know about. This is Russell Bevan. This is Addicts. This is a brand on the rise, and they make a couple of different single vineyards too. Right now, we're planning on opening the Napa, but things could change. We could go to Tench, which is the vineyard right next to Screaming Eagle. And this Russell Bevan, if you've never tasted his wine, he's just an amazing human being with the biggest arms. And you don't look at him and think he's going to make a feminine wine. He's going to make a very pronounced and hedonistic wine, and he gets everything out of the grapes. You're going to love this wine. And in a blind lineup with 3 wines next to each other, this wine's really hard to beat. Arkenstone, Sam Kaplan, winemaker, Howell Mountain Appellation. This is their estate. This got 98 points. This is absolutely, in the last 3 dinners we've done, we've had this wine in it. And if it's not the winner, it's in the top 3 every single time. Most people have not tried this wine. Stunning. And I'm so proud to be able to have a good quantity of this wine at Merchant of Wine on our website. We buy it from Merchant of Wine and put it in the dinner. This wine's going to be an absolute juggernaut this night. Uh, this winery is firing on all cylinders. This needs to be included in the conversation. Cardano. This is a reserve 95. This is not a wine that you're going to find out there in the marketplace very much. I believe this is the 19 reserve. And frankly, we are probably the only ones that have it. Why? Because I have a relationship with a winery. They haven't released this wine to the population yet, but we featured it in a dinner and sold a ton of it. And it is a wine you've got to kind of learn some of the subtleties about. It doesn't have the big fancy named anything behind it. It's just a great vineyard with a great family. And it's one of the best deals. It's under $200 a bottle, and it's just smoking. And you're going to love it. You're probably going to pick it to win. That's what happened last time. Carte Blanche. Nobility, up and down. First of all, the family owns the brand. The Dillon family, they're involved in Chateau Aubrion, probably one of the most important wineries in Bordeaux. This is their Napa. Well, this is Nicholas Allen's wine, and he is the family or part of the family. What else is noble about this wine is the vineyard that it's made from. This is Beckstoffer, Missouri Hopper, 97 points. The winemaking team with Helen Keplinger and her husband, just, up and down. This is nobility. This is delicious. This is a winner, and it needs to be in the conversation. Castile. Okay. Timeless. The label is beautiful, elegant. The vineyard, 100 acres, total ownership on Howe Mountain. Very few under vine at this time. Jim Barbier, vineyard manager, famous vineyard manager. Celia Welsh, winemaker, Scarecrow, others that she makes. This is the wine to watch in the wine world. Coming in under $200 again. 97 points, needs to be part of the vernacular of what's happening. The next exciting wave of wines. This is one of them. Very exciting. Okay, 100 acre. Doesn't need any introduction. And in fact, in the last 15 years, I do a lot of these dinners. No wine has won more dinners than 100 acre. Jason, you make absolutely delicious wines. And we're pouring the Morgan vineyard here. This is 100 points again. I mean, this is like probably the most awarded, 100-point awarded wine in California. That's Scarecrow, Eagle. There's more 100 points at 100 acre. Yes, he makes more wines, but he gets 100 points on almost all of them. And Kylie Morgan, this vineyard used to be called Kylie Morgan. Now it's called Morgan's Way. That's the same vineyard, everything. They just had changed the name. And it's going to be the wine to beat. And that's also $650, $700. I'm going to put in a couple of wines just to test the room. I didn't say this was a Napa dinner. This is a great Cabernet dinner. So we've got a couple of outliers, keep people on their toes. And my friend Clay Moritzen makes a wine called Loam. This is delicious Sonoma County Cabernet from some of the best sites, loam soils. These are single soil selections. Pretty cool. And Clay has obviously been a mentor to me. I put his wines up there with the best, and you're going to love tasting Loam and tasting it with us. We're going to taste Thomas Rivers Brown. That name, I might say some names more than others. That's one of them. This is Maybach, the automobile family. We're tasting Ammonius, 98 frickin' points. This wine is stunning. And a little more expensive. Um, I mean, there's just nothing to stop the momentum behind this great brand. It is part of the conversation already for those that have tried it, but not very many people get to try it. That's another thing to keep in mind. You could go out to dinner and spend $500 a person, party of two, probably buy a bottle of one of these wines. The real value proposition comes when you get to try 21 of them next to each other so you can compare the best. That's really what this delivers, is that ability to put them in context. Drinking one wine is a wonderful idea for the right time, the right people, the right place. But when you're wanting to learn, you're wanting to be educated, you can open your mind to new ideas. And, sometimes it's even fun to see if you could guess which wine it is out there. But what we try to do is, we've got these wines blind 3 at a time, is we ask the room, which one did you like the best? And we vote. How many like wine number one? Everybody raises their hand for wine number one. And then we reveal the wine. We haven't told you what to enjoy. You're telling us what you enjoyed. And this is why it's so much fun. You just cannot have more fun. This is like suspenseful. It's sometimes emotional. People yell. They're like, yeah, I got the wine right. And they get excited. And this is really a great way to discover what you really, really like. And you're going to discover Maibach is sensational. The eyes of Philippe Melka are upon us. This is absolutely one of my favorite winemakers of all time, one of the most famous, one of the hardest working, one of the most successful. He's checking all the boxes. This is a single vineyard that he has, 2018. I think it is mind-blowing good. And so the 17 or the 18? It might be the 17. And anything he puts as Matisse is going to be one of his top efforts. So we're going to taste some Melka, and this is going to win some votes for sure, and does every single time we show it. And this one just keeps getting better. Like I said, not everything is Napa, but 97 points from Santa Cruz Mountains. This wine is ridiculous. And to taste it next to the others, you're going to be like, wow, didn't know about that. That is sensational, especially because we decant all these wines. We show up with them in the right temperature. We decant them about 2 hours before dinner. We get them a lot of air, and these things are singing by the time dinner's come around. Don't know what course we're going to have each wine with, but I have high expectations for this legend. This is about 30 years in production. Too few people have included this in the great wine selections of California, and it is. This is like, there is nothing wrong with this wine. And by the way, the wine experts, when they give a 100-point score or 99-point score, they are very honest, and they say, what's the difference between 97 and 90 and 100? And sometimes they say, it's what we had for breakfast, because these wines are emotional. They're alive, and they change with your temperament, how hot it is outside, the atmospheric pressure. What are the tides doing? Where's the moon? I mean, all these things influence us, and they influence the wine. Sometimes it's us. They say wine opens up. I always argue that maybe it's us. We're opening up. Pina, super amazing vineyard holdings. This is such sexy, fun, delicious stuff. Great winemaking team here. This is a former winemaker from Bryant family. And we're tasting a single vineyard that you're going to adore. This wine does really well in tastings like this, and no one's ever had it before. This wine should absolutely be part of the conversation, and it will be. It will be. Polito Walker, family's very successful. Um, do a little Google search on them. This is like the quintessential Napa story. Make a lot of money, buy the best vineyards, build a beautiful winery, a beautiful home, hire Thomas Rivers Brown as your winemaker. They actually have a selection of vineyards, and this one's from their Mount Veeder. What is it? 99 points. Oh, damn, must suck. No, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculously good. Oh, it's part of the conversation, and I'm gonna have to elevate this one. This one might win because it is so seductive, so seductive. I mean, the score just tells you, but this one is so nailing it right now. It just, oh, here's another one. I can't wait to see what people do with this wine. There's such a great story behind it too, so I love to tell the story, and I can't talk too long here, but let's just say, what do you get when you have a storied property that Francis Ford Coppola buys, hires the winemaker from Chateau Margaux, goes through it all from the last 40 years, and is now producing wines that are comparable to the wines from the 1960s. Let's see what you think. 98 points. This wine is back on point, to be discovered by you folks that care, that have passion for wine collecting. It needs to be in the conversation and compared to the best, because it is. That is like the benchmark property for the Napa Valley. Schrader, Beckstoffer, To Kalon, 97 frickin' points. Thomas Rivers Brown, winemaker. This is the RBS. I mean, come on. This is a storied wine, collectible, owned now by LVMH. Is that right? Nope. Constellation bought this. They own Opus One. This is the wine to beat. Again, another wine to beat. So I keep saying this might be the best wine lineup I've ever put into a tasting, but there's no $5,000 Eagle, and there's no $1,200+ Scarecrow, because I want to keep this dinner on the affordable side, and I want I want a level playing field. This is going to be a battle. Shabumi Knoll, a brand no one's tried before, but guess who the winemaker is? Thomas Rivers Brown. I discovered this wine myself at the French Laundry. I never heard of it either. It's spectacular, and it's different, and it's going to stand out, and it's going to make some fans, and it's delicious. You're going to love it. There's nothing not to love about it, and the brand needs to be recognized. This is great stuff. And frankly, they do have other players. They have tremendous Chard and Pinot as well. And I think it's their Chardonnay that's getting all the attention. This Cabernet is screaming, is so flipping good. Mascot. Okay, so we do have a Harlan in this lineup, but this is their Mascot wine, sells for under $200, and is kind of the word leftovers kind of connotates something bad, and they're going to say it's not leftovers, but it's younger vines. It's they have tremendous holdings. They have the best winemakers. They have the best winemaking equipment, the best locations. This wine is beautiful, and it's in this type of situation that you get to really judge it, because it's up against more expensive wines by $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 a bottle. That puts it in context. It's like a Rolodex. You got to kind of have that experience, that wisdom to taste And when you discover that this wine's about 180 bucks retail, you're like, that's pretty damn good, because that's kind of a magic number. They're no dummies at Harlan. They know, that their number one wine, was it selling for now 1,500 plus. So this wine is the daily drinker, if you will, for a lot of us to be able to pull out something exceptional without having a hard time paying the rent. This is a great deal. And I think it's going to do really well. Another wine to blow minds. The setting. Jesse Katz, father's a famous photographer. Jesse is one hell of an entrepreneur, and he is booming. Okay. He makes a lot of 100-point wines now. Do a little Google search, you'll find out. This wine is banging. So good, so delicious, so intense, fruity. And here's, it's not Napa Valley, it's Alexander Valley. There's other great Alexander Valley wines, right? There's quite a few. Peter Michael, Silver Oak, quite a few. I'm sorry if I'm leaving you out of the conversation there, but let's do some business. The setting is one that is going to be included in Alexander Valley Nobility. This is really, really delicious. Love it. Love turning people on to it. $100. It will win some votes against way more expensive wines. Another discovery. No one's tried this. Don't tell me you have. The name, first I saw the wine, I'm like, oh, it must be Van Gogh, blah, blah, blah. No, it's Van Gone. Why? Because there was a van in the vineyard and now it's gone. It comes out of that. And this is a great estate, an incredible grower. This is 2018. This is just, where have you been all of my life, Van Gone? I love this wine. I have both the 18 and the 19 on our website. That's how much I love it. And it needs to be part of the conversation, because this is really good wine. And the winemaker here makes some other really good wines for other people. And this is something you're going to discover at our tasting. It is truly delicious. And there's a lot of talent that get together to help make this wine. So we'll talk about it in detail. Vengay. Kirk Vengay, Nils Vengay's son, is a winemaker. 96 points. This is the Oakville. Man, I was looking at what some of the vineyards they're making wines from. Vengay is on fire. They have all the best sites, and I think they're making the best wine they've ever made in their lives. And this one is going to be a competitor for wine of the night. Don't let that 96-point score disappoint you, because this is the wine that sneaks up on you in the glass. You're like, oh my God, that's the best smelling thing I've ever tasted or smelled in my life. And it's right there in the sweet spot. It's somewhere in the $250 a bottle range. It's just all these wines are in this really kind of competitively tight set of pricing, with a couple of outliers. 100 Acre on the expensive side, setting on the less expensive side. We're going to finish off our discussion on Cabernet with an outlier from Chile. This is Alma Viva. This is a production between Baron Philippe Rothschild and Concho y Toro out of Chile. This wine has been between 97 and 100 points, probably every vintage. And when you catch it in the right mood, it is the best wine on the table. It is moody though. And we're going to decant the hell out of this thing, maybe triple decant it. because they make it, that Bordeaux mentality. You want to give it more years. It's gushing with deliciousness. It's so fun. Um, but really with some air and some even more time in the bottle, it will probably have a even better day. But we'll see how it does. It's damn good. And if you know what's happening with Mouton and all that they're doing, it's trickling down throughout the entire ecosystem of the brands. They're making flawless wines, and they use all the technology, about the laser sorting tables, about that. They're doing just this super high selection with incredible grape growing standards and the best of automation coming all together. When you have every tool in the shed and you have a vineyard that's, one of the greatest in the world, you can actually make some pretty good wine. And that's what they're doing in Chile. And that's why this dinner is going to be so much fun, because there's just so much to appreciate. Now, we have a Flickr page that has, I was stunned to find out that we have about 40,000 pictures on our Flickr going back in time. So if you've ever been to one of our events, you might have a picture or two on here. We've had our 100-point dinner, our Petrus dinner. We'll have the recent Napa event up here in the next couple of days. My friend Hector Sandoval takes the photographs when we can afford to bring him in, because we have a big crowd. We do. And I'm expecting that he'll be at this dinner as well, maybe if he's available. And we'll take some great photos, but this kind of shows you what we're up to. So you go to a restaurant and the servers kind of take care of your wine for you. No, we do the wine service. We bring the glassware, we double wash them, we polish them, we make them odorless. We do all these little steps to make the most savvy of wine critic happy that we're there doing it. Restaurants can do a very good job, but we make sure they don't fail. And we also provide multiple people that aren't busy serving other tables. And we're tasting all these wines blind, 3 at a time. The lineup is always insane. The population of our dinners are very, amazing customers. We have customers flying in for these dinners. We have customers that, first time, maybe you can only do these once in a while, once a year, whatever. Hopefully we have in a city of 15 million people. I think there's enough people to fill a 20-person dinner once a month at this level. I'm not saying you're missing all the greatest things in life if you're not here, but if you want to experience some of the greatest things in life, this is one of the things you can accentuate your life with, is being able to get together with some really good people and tasting some great wines. A lot of knowledge, a lot of good contacts here. That I have friends that come to these dinners just to make new friends. You never know what you can get accomplished with this type of people sitting at this table. And being able to taste the wines myself helps my profession, helps me do what I do. Working with Suzanne Track, she's the chef owner. She's awesome, so much fun. And we love her and her team. They are, most of the people that work at JAR have been there like 20 plus years. And some of my clients have been with me for 20 plus years, and great friends. Don't want to call out any names, but really famous and prominent people. And we just love doing this. This is the joy of my business. Hell, it's a lot of work. We polish these glasses. We are the servers. This dinner comes tax and restaurant tip inclusive. We're hoping you're feeling very generous at the end of the night, because my staff and I, we take the gratuities that the guests leave and split them up to pay our way. We're not making a lot of money on this dinner. I think I make $20 a person doing this dinner. So, I need the gratuity, to be honest. I'm very bold about it. I'm like, hey, if you liked it, throw us a bone. because we work hard and we're freaking good at this. And it's an incredible gathering, and my team appreciates it too. And we just have a lot of fun, like I said. So you can see from the pictures, it's action packed, it's high energy, it's not boring, it moves along quickly, friends are made, and at the end of the night, we take a group shot. And the food, I'm not sure if I showed all the food pictures here as I've been talking, but the food is super good. And if I haven't showed the food, I will be in a second. But we're almost to that treasured group shot. And you can just see people that probably didn't even know each other until they sat down. That's what I wanted to point out. Yeah, here's our food. This was the last dinner. Beef, lamb, pork, more lamb. Really cool little space. There's a great vibe here. And as I said, I reveal the wines and I talk about each of them. I use the microphone. It can get a little loud, especially after 15 wines. People kind of get pretty pumped up throughout the night. And yeah, it's a great time had by all. And the entire city of Los Angeles, we do these dinners all over the place. I've been using Jar on a regular basis because they take such good care of us. They make it so easy. And truthfully, there isn't a better place to do it. The food is fantastic. In fact, I've got people now going to Jar all the time now, just because we've been doing these dinners at this restaurant, and they loved it. And some people forgot how good the food is at Jar. This is my money shot. This is all the wines that we tasted with this group, and this guy didn't know this guy. Now they're talking, and this family didn't know this family, and now they're talking. And yeah, it's just it's just really a kind of a comings together, the best things in life. So join us. The Jar Dinner is still a couple of weeks away. It is doing very well. We have confirmed the dinner will occur. It'll be June 8th. And when we have probably 6 to 8 spots remaining, it's less than $500. That gratuity will be up to you at the end. No gratuity too large, too small. We just appreciate you taking the energy to do it. And at the dinner, if you like the wines, we can tell you how to get them. And it's a great way to inform yourself, to do something really special. It's not easy to do these dinners, but we do all the work. All you got to do is show up. And if you do the math and you try to do it yourself, price is probably the same. There's no like super fee here. We just enjoy the privilege of doing them with great people, and that's what these are all about. Talk to you soon, everybody. Check it out at learnaboutwine.com.